the district attorney, kind of, for Cook County. Her feelings have been de-emphasizing the treatment of victims by handing out ridiculous sentences. Now, how does the district attorney hand out ridiculous sentences? You are a judge. I thought it was the judge that gives the sentence, not the prosecution. So there's a video I'm planning to do. It's called The Prosecutor's Paradox. We're going to demystify it together. But how can this statement even make sense to any first-degree law student? Listen to this again. A former Cook County judge, a judge is saying this, said that Fox's failings have been de-emphasizing the treatment of victims by handing out ridiculous sentences. How can Kim Fox hand out a ridiculous sentence? She is the prosecutor. It's not the prosecutor that hands out the sentence. Very strange, but let's watch. This all comes as Illinois is set to launch a similar elimination of cash bail. Commit a crime, no cash bail. You don't need to pay in any cash, just go on your own self-recognizance. To the disastrous policy in New York, where bail will only be set and criminals put back on the street unless the defendant poses a specific real and present threat. That is all criminals. Fox began her term in office by dismissing more than 25,000 felony cases. She began her term by dismissing 25,000 felony cases. Now, my problem with the sentence is the use of the word dismissing and here handing out sentences. It seems like the prosecutor's office is also a judge, even though that's the way they're acting here, but dismissing, or are they just withdrawing the cases? Listen, 25,000 felony cases, including many involving charges of murder and other serious crimes in her first 3 years on the job. In the first 3 years since she took over Cook County as the top prosecutor in 2016, her office dismissed charges against 29%, basically 30, of felony defendants, meaning that these defendants were allowed to walk back on the streets. What about the victims of these crimes? Remember I told you about the gap. I told you about the gap between the incident occurring, the police report, the arrest, the trial, the conviction, the appeal. The gap. There's a long gap. And I told you that even the gap between the incident occurring and the police report, that gap is getting wider. Then the police coming to investigate and police catching the guy, that's very, very wide. You saw 4%. 4% of carjackings are solved in Chicago. 4%. Out of 100 cars, they catch the guy 4 times. They're not talking about even getting the car. They're just talking about catching the person. That's another. Now, going to court and convicting the motherfucker and sending him to prison is another set of hurdles, let's call them. But look, by comparison, Fox's predecessor, Anessa Alvarez, dropped charges against just 19% of felons. Just 19. You are supposed to charge everyone. Listen, a total of 25,183 defendants had their felony charges dismissed under Fox up until November 2019. Why are they dismissing charges? For God's sake, guys. A prosecutor is somebody who is supposed to ensure that a criminal goes to prison. Your job is not to dismiss people. It's not to throw out the cases. Your job is to try and fight the cases and make sure that the victims of crime get justice so that there's some kind of faith in the system. Why can't you just come in and dismiss 25,000 felonies? You just throw them out. Murder. Murderers are being let go. Look, what did I say? At the beginning of the show, I said something. Fox took over as state attorney in 2016 with a promise to bring criminal justice reform and to reduce the population of the jail. Guys, they want the criminals out of the streets. Why? Because they're black. That's why. Because it's racist. Prisons are racist. It's a black thing. Normally, when you become a prosecutor, you want to put as many people in jail as possible. That's what I would want. I want to put in everyone in jail. Everyone who so much as thinks about a crime, I want you in prison. Because criminals are non-productive. They are drains on society's resources. So if you even survive the arrest, because trust me, if a police officer is struggling to arrest a criminal and he shoots the criminal in the struggle, I will not prosecute him. Go to the feds. My team are not going to prosecute that officer because I value the life of a police officer more than that of a fucking criminal. That's me. So, recognizing the history that we've had wrongful convictions, recognizing our ethical obligations as prosecutors. Wow. This is a very important statement for that video I'm going to discuss. We call it the prosecutor's paradox. It's let me just give you guys a sneak peek. It's a very, very important video. I downloaded it in 2017. It's not that long ago. It's from the American Bar Association. Let's look at it. So of course she's black, whatever. That's what this is about. This is a black movement. It's like a civil rights movement. As I said, I'm not going to discuss it yet, but it's all about, American Bar Association, diversity and inclusion. See this? DEI? This is before DEI, so it's going to be a fun one. Stay tuned for that. We're not doing that now. But let's get back on topic. We're getting sidetracked. Let's see. So NYPD in 2004 charged the department that had cooked the books to lower crime stats and called on all its members to share evidence of crimes being downgraded. Management countered that unions advanced the charge to gain advantage in contract negotiations. 2000. Oh my days, bro. Oof. You guys don't know these things. That's why we have to keep talking about them. Look, this story is so old. The link is gone. That's how old these stories are. What's next? In 2005, for Broward County. Broward County is where? Broward County should be Georgia. I hope. Florida. Shit. All right, whatever. Broward County deputy sheriffs were fired for fudging crime stats. Denying any knowledge, the sheriff used the false stats to convince multiple municipalities to scrap their own police departments and contract with Broward County's sheriff's office. He also used the stats in his political rise. Are you seeing this? An investigation revealed cover-ups by BSO supervisors as well as specialists and frontline workers to downgrade crimes or only charge one crime to a suspect who had committed dozens of crime. In 2010, more than half of 309 retired NYPD officers admitted to fudging crime stats in a survey conducted by 2 academicians from Molly and John Jay colleges. Most of the respondents served as prison commanders after comp stats was implemented. They reported heavy pressure from the higher ups, we've heard that before, to reduce felonies to misdemeanors or to not report crimes at all to make the numbers look prettier. I said this at the beginning of this video, but people don't like to fucking read, especially black people. So you can't just tell them things. You have to do it in pretty pictures and stuff. You need pictures. They need to see pictures. Otherwise, it's just tough to get them to fucking read anything. And that's not racist, that's just true. Alright. Forged crime statistics stats hit pop culture sectors in HBO series The Wire based on Baltimore PD. One of the show's central thing was pressure police put on brass. Colin covered this. So, yeah, The Wire. The guy who writes The Wire is, I think he was a journalist who covered crime in Baltimore, and he knows about these things, of course. So I have this information at the tip of my fingers, the back of my hands. I didn't need to read this article. I read this article for you guys who don't know this. And I've already explained the gaps between the incident and the report and the arrest and the conviction, if any. So this number already means nothing. Already, it means nothing. This 13%. It's not 33% down. And down to 3% against what? So let's go down to my response to these wild and unfounded claims. So here we go. Is Chirac safer? No. Crime goes down when people stop reporting. People stop reporting when police stop responding. We covered that at the beginning of this video. When the mayor goes and compiles the stats, they see that people stop calling. Voila, crime is down. These guys are all facing re-election at some time in the next 18 months. They need these headlines to start coming out now so that they don't have to do too much work in their campaign. They can just say, look, crime is down. I brought crime down myself, single-handedly. Qualified, shout out. Debunked this forever ago. Just this week, we covered the shootings already. So, here's Latasha. Who does she live in Chicago? Let's find out. She doesn't say. Oh, jeez. All right. Chicago has been safe for years. With, let's see, 1,797 crimes committed in the last 7 days, including sexual assault, robbery, battery, burglary, theft, motor theft. In a week, just in Chicago. That is a lot. She doesn't live there, by the way. I posted news clippings from yesterday. Chicago doesn't rank high in any metric as far as crime is concerned. Real estate. So we already debunked that, right? Where you can forge statistics if you want to tell a particular story. Atlanta reduced the crime by 20,000 crimes so that they could have a successful bid to host the Olympics in the US in 1996. And the Olympics are coming to Los Angeles in 2028. They will do similar things to reduce the number of homelessness and all these terrible things going on in the city. So most dangerous places, Memphis, Tennessee, blah, blah, blah. This is real estate. So they don't know what they're talking about. Put it like that. And if Detroit, okay, number 4 was dangerous, that's fine. Yeah, who cares? Whatever. So not me as in a fucking fuck you. Let's see what the responses were to. I think I had about 2 or 3 responses. Crime is down, guys. Okay, so I think I've covered all these. Okay, but here's what I say. Crime is down, guys. No, people stop reporting. No snitches. Snitches for snitches. It's very easy to bring crime down. Tell the cops to stop responding. Covered that. Tell them not to take reports. Covered that. People don't call anymore because cops don't show up. Covered that. Easy. And then you have haters, whatever. They're black people, so it's natural. Oh, this is just ridiculous. So niggas are playing. Okay, so here we go. Homicides aren't reported. You just find the body, but nice try. So they started being rec centers instead of jails, and crime went down. Shocking. So niggas are playing basketball instead of shooting each other because they hold out this big. That's good enough reason. Doubt. 4th of July weekend, 109 people shot. So I think in this video, we've already discussed at length the denial, deceit, and delusion. And of course, how crime is the new black entitlement. Black people feel entitled to crime. They're entitled to excuse, condone, encourage, deny, and even lie about crime. Right? So they're all what's the word? They're all complicit. Like this guy doesn't even understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that the crime is underreported, but he cannot comprehend that. I actually have to spell it out for him. But it's all right. We've established what we wanted to establish. You've seen it. Thankfully, we got the right articles, and they showed us. And even this alone completely dispels the narrative. This is Chicago Police Department, week 26, week 27, and it shows that year on year, crime is not down 33%, like they're saying here. It's actually down 13%. So where's the 33 coming from? I'm going to ask that question again. Where is the 33% coming from? So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. This was a difficult video to make, just looking at all the death. And I only looked at Chicago because Chicago is bigger than all these cities. It's the 3rd largest city in America. So I didn't feel the need to look at these other less relevant, probably more violent cities. I mean, just look at the people that they elect. This guy, I don't even trust this Brandon Scott guy. I don't trust him. I don't. He just seems like a weirdo. Whatever the case may be, it's fine. This is Fox 5, Fox Baltimore. Yeah, he just doesn't look trustworthy. It's not just because he's black, but it's part of it. Anyways, that being said, leave a like, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been difficult for me to do another video like this anytime soon. But if you do have links for crime in Baltimore and Birmingham, Alabama, and Jackson, Mississippi, let me know. I can actually do those because Chicago is very easy to find. That's why I did it. But if we're to do those other videos, I'll need specific, credible sources. Chicago is well documented because Chicago is very popular. These other cities are very small, so it's less difficult. But I'm willing to discuss it. But you can see from the video, as we saw, it's all over the country: New York, Florida, Atlanta, everywhere. Just understand that crime and these types of people, they are directly proportionate. The more you have of them, the more there will be crime. Therefore, they would present themselves as the solution to the problem which they/their people cause. So just understand that it's multi-layered, but I found a way to streamline the information. But for now, today's lesson is about crime statistics and how they don't represent the full story. This case here, 33%, is based on nothing. It's based on nothing. Because this is what they linked. They linked Birmingham 52%, right? Where's Chicago? Where is Chicago? So it says 50%. April 1st. Listen to this again. From a website called al.com, on April Fool's Day, benefit of doubt we give them, he's reporting Birmingham 50% in the first 3 months of 2025. He's reporting this in July, 6 months into 2025, and he's reporting 50% in the first 3 months. This is a story from April that he's publishing in July. Are you seeing the problem? I hope you guys stuck around to this part of the video. Are you seeing the problem? This is from April. So, this is a very strange discussion. And his link, he just wrote these things. Leave a like, subscribe. Oof. Remember, crime's the new black entitlement. I'll see you in the next one. Out.